The brass pistol can fill up the heat meter in one shot. By combining the animation of the zombie spawns, it makes the zombies have infinite health, meaning they get some sort of spawn protection. However, using this to your ability, by aiming at the spawns and firing, you can almost fill up your whole heat bar in one shot. By using divinity on a player, you can stop them from becoming a viral. So how does this work? Well, when you get blessed with divinity, it prevents infection. So by putting divinity on a player, it protects them from incoming infection. By adding divinity to a player and you get pinned by a few shamblers and you go into the animation of being killed, you won't turn into a viral. However, if you've been bitten and you can be saved by a few blessings yet you have divinity on, you will become a viral. It's a little confusing, I know, but 100% worth noting. Now, if you use the tinted glasses or civilian spectacles with the battle scar, you can make it so your eyes are not visible through the glasses. However, changing the blemish to anything else, you can see through the glasses and see your eyes. Using one medical supply whilst having the extended surgeon kit, you can heal a player to full health. That's if they haven't been gashed by the zapper, that is. Also, the timing on this is heavily dependent, therefore it's easier to do what I just did. The crucifix used to give you 1 frank per full charge, but no longer does, meaning the only thing that provides franks for the chaplain class is the blessing. Also, before you ask, no, you do not get franks from using divinity. The exorcism crucifix can be cancelled before you finish using it. Now, once you've done that, you can attack some zombies and the bar will recharge. However, with the crucifix, if you cancel the charge before it runs out, it won't recharge, meaning you have to fully use it to get the full charge back. If a teammate is getting pinned by a runner underwater, they cannot be saved from a flintlock. They must be killed via a form of melee. Now, in a sense, this is true, but it all depends on how low the water is. If they are poking through the water, yes, they can be saved by a flintlock, but if they are submerged, they need to be meleeed. Now, something that goes heavily unnoticed is the officer's charge. Anything that requires objectives, for example, like logs and Berezina, running through the tunnels of water and Roscoff, activating this charge, it can speed players up. However, the only downside is if you're reloading or aiming, it does not boost you, meaning you'll get the effect, but only if you cancel reloading or stop reloading and switch. Not only this, but activating the charge nearby players who are being grabbed by a shambler will reward you 2 frank, as in a sense you saved a teammate. And also to note, it also works with the crucifix too. Now, another thing that I didn't even know about, nor do I know if I covered before, so I'm putting it here also. If you go in first person, you can ADS with the musket. Now, we all know you could do it with the rifle, but the musket, like, when the f was this added? Oh, the St. Petersburg update. Oh, right, okay. The bagpipes from the Scottish regiments have a slower and faster pacing metronome. Now, I'm not going to go in depth for this, because honestly, this segment needs its own video. To cut it short, if you want an easier way to get the badge to stop that useless noise, using the bagpipes is easier than using the fight for any of the regiments. Granted, it's not 100% massive difference, but it is definitely noticeable. Using the air rifle in Endless allows you to have an extra air canister after every other wave, meaning if you reloaded your air canister on wave 10, you'll get a new one for wave 12, so long as you have a spare one within your inventory. If you keep replacing air canisters, you're gonna run out, as they have to be bought. There are certain areas of certain maps where you can have an advantage with the reach of some weapons. For example, the pike, by going into first person and positioning yourself here, you can aim upwards and hit zombies before they come over the barricade in San Sebastian. Now, this also works for Roscoff, Korb, and many other sections of maps. The rifle is one of the best weapons in the game, and I'm not saying that because Dungeon has me on a leash, I'm saying as a fact. The penetration is heavily underestimated, and it can be such a good weapon in the right hands and if you know how to use it. And to be honest, the same goes for the musket. By alternating the reload with the melee of the bayonet, it can become such an outstanding weapon in the right hands. I know some people might get confused about the bayonet's 1 penetration, but combining it with the headshot and the quick succession of the weapon, it is truly an underrated flintlock. When you're on fire, runners and shamblers cannot grab you, meaning so long as you're in this animation, you won't get grabbed or pinned. So use this to your advantage. Now, as of now, that is everything I have found upon. There is a few more, but there's so many in-depth tricks you can do, I need to make separate videos on it. However, thank you for watching, and I'll speak to you in the next one. Bye.